So how much does it cost to learn how to fly a plane? In this video, I'm going to be breaking it down based off of my experience, but I actually created a spreadsheet that I can actually share with you for free if you want to do the math yourself, depending on what route you want to take. Let me go ahead and just jump right into it. This is something that I've recently began to learn more about as I began to work towards my private pilot license. Now in this video, there's a total of 4 main expenses, really 3 of them. That is fuel cost if the plane that you are renting is considered dry. There's a thing or a term considered as a wet plane, which means that when you rent it per hour, it includes the fuel. There's the plane cost, which again, if you have a dry plane, right? So you have to take care of fuel costs, then you have to take care of the plane cost. If you don't own the plane, then you have to rent one, right? The one that I specifically rent is $125 an hour. It's a Cirrus SR20. It's a 2006, if I'm not mistaken, and it's dry, which means that I incur an additional $53 in cost of avgas is the type of fuel that this specific plane is required to use according to my flight instructor. So if you do the math, it ends up breaking down to about, what is that? $188.16 per hour for a Cirrus SR20. This one does not have a GPS, which I had to buy that myself, but it's all dependent on your flight school. My buddies use it, so they didn't incur the expense, so I didn't add it on this. It was just something I decided to buy. But on top of that, then there's the CFI cost. That is the flight instructor. Obviously, you're not going to learn how to fly on your own, so this is where the CFI cost is. And all of this is something that, again, I break down and I show you examples of. So the total cost based off of the average hours of what it actually takes for someone to learn how to fly. And this is not including if you are actually paying a flight instructor to sit with you in a classroom, because you would have to pay them most likely a lower rate if you're not flying for ground school. This is for Pilot Institute, which is an online course. It's the one that I signed up for. And if you're interested, send me a direct message via Instagram or via Discord. It's all linked in the description down below, and I'll send you the link. If anything, I'll pin it down in the comment section if you want to go ahead and check it out. But that's one payment of $249, and that covers my ground school. But on top of that, obviously, as you're learning more about the plane, most flight instructors or most CFIs want to also take time and quiz you and making sure that you understand the plane that you are flying, and you have to pay for their rate per hour. That is not included in this, but if you end up downloading this free little cheat sheet, right, this little calculator, then you can just add that line tool and calculate that, right? But as you guys could see, I mean, let's say that your fuel cost, the reason I put $53.16, I just flew this morning, and with avgas, it was $6.81 per gallon, and I flew for an hour. I flew for 1.7 hours, which estimated to be around $81. So then I just did the math, and it ended up being around $53 an hour. If you end up paying a different price, I wanted to show you this very quickly. Obviously, it all depends on where it is that you are and what the price per gallon is for Jet A or for avgas, and it has all the prices right on over here. So from the northern, what was it? NC, Northwestern, Southwestern, South Central, North Central, Northern East, and then Southeast, and then it has all the price. So I just wanted to make sure that once you learn a little bit more about the numbers, let's say that yours is closer to $7, right? $7 per hour. It also depends on the burn rate for your specific plane, but based off of what I did today, right, with the different lessons that I went through, it burned through $53.16 per hour. So I just put that $50, I would say, is pretty average. 67 hours. I know if you guys are actually learning more about flight school, you will see that the minimum hours required is 40 hours. Obviously, the minimum hours required doesn't mean that you're going to learn in that time, right? Obviously, some people might need more. Some people might need a lot more, right? I know people that my flight instructor told me that they go over 100 hours and they still haven't gotten their private pilot license. It's all dependent on how quickly you learn and how comfortable you feel, right? Obviously, I don't want to try to get my private pilot license or learn how to fly on my own if I don't feel comfortable. Therefore, I'm going to have to try to pay for more lessons. So from 65 to 70 hour mark, I just put the average of 67. Fuel cost 67. You can see that the total cost would be, $3,560 One, if you see yourself being someone that, I'm a quick learner, I think I'm going to be closer to 47. You just update it and all the numbers will automatically update, right? Plane costs, again, as well, if you learn in 47 hours, you can see from 1380, it goes down to 1100. And then for CFI, obviously, again, if you can learn in a shorter period of time, it does reduce this a lot. Obviously, if you end up changing the cost per plane, let's say that you find a plane that you can rent for like dry. I know the Cirruses are not the cheapest, but let's say that you're able to find a plane that's like $92, right? $92.50, and this is considered dry or wet. It doesn't matter, right? I mean, it's all dependent on what it is that you end up actually booking. But $92 an hour, I mean, this is going to go from $5,800 all the way down to $43. Now you're learning how to fly under $9,000, right? With all of this included. Let's say that you're a CFI, which is your flight instructor. You get one that wants $30 an hour, then that's $1,400, right? Let's say you get one that ends up wanting to charge you $50 an hour. Literally just, again, you just go down the list and you can mess around with this yourself. I'd be more than happy to send it to you. It's literally super simple. I'm just going to go ahead and put all of this back to what it is that I had it at. I just found it to be pretty average for what it is that I'm doing, right? So as long as you know the price per hour for the plane, as long as you know the fuel cost per hour on average, obviously this is going to change because if you're doing more exhausting maneuvers, it's going to exhaust the plane a little bit more, therefore consume more fuel. Obviously, on some days you might use more, some days you might use less. You guys let me know in the comment section what you think about 53. I feel like that's pretty close to average. And then obviously your CFI, that's all based off of who you end up hiring, right? If you're in the Arizona area, I use a specific guy that is in this Arizona area. He's a young guy and I work with him very closely. So if you want me to connect you with him, send me a direct message via Instagram and I'll send you his Instagram and you can connect there. But yeah, I mean, altogether, again, my approach is not the cheapest. The only thing that's like the cheapest or most cost effective is the Pilot Institute. That's only $249. I know a lot of other flight schools charge $500, $1,000. But overall, the CFI cost, I would say that's pretty average for $40 an hour. The plane cost, again, taking this into consideration, you can learn how to fly from a Cessna 152, Cessna 172, those tend to be older planes. Pipers, again, are also very popular planes. Those end up being more cost effective. There are some schools that are going to try to charge you with a flight instructor included, right? They might say, hey, $200 an hour, but that includes the plane, that includes fuel, and that includes the flight instructor. At that point, you then do the math. Okay, $40 plus $125 plus $53. Whoa, at that point I am saving about $20-$30 an hour. Maybe I do want to join this flight school. It's all up to you, but at least I give you the breakdown on the different variables and how many hours you expect to actually do this. And the only thing that this thing doesn't include is the ground school hours that if you have like a flight instructor, you're going to have to most likely pay for his time. So taking that into consideration. But I thought this was rather unique. I wish I had it when I was trying to get a better guesstimate, right, of what it was I was going to incur in learning how to fly and get my private pilot license. So again, this is Pilot Institute. I'll go ahead and I'll link it in the comments section. If you want to download it, you don't have to. It's just the one that I personally use and that I'm going through right now and getting my private pilot license. And it's $249. So feel free to check it out and let me know in the comment section what you think. I thought this was a nice little breakdown on how cheap or how expensive specific planes can be. And as you can see, the Cirruses are on the lower half of this, but I'm pretty sure this is including the cost of fuel, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously the cost of fuel, just depending on, if you end up having to pay for it. I thought this would be useful to determine based off of where you are in the United States, if you even are in the United States. So you guys let me know down in the comment section what you guys think about this video. I don't or have never made a video on my YouTube channel about learning how to fly. I would love to make more videos. I feel like it's something that I wish more people took time to learn more about. I know that it's super expensive. I did the math on the price per hour for what it cost me to fly today for 1.7 hours, and it was right around $400 an hour. I get it, right? It's not cost effective for everyone, but even if you do it once or twice, I think it's such a unique experience, and the more that you educate yourself, the more informed you can be, especially if anything were to happen, at least you're better prepared, right? The more you know, the more you can prepare and the less fear that you have in those stressful situations. So I'm really excited to continue my overall journey in working towards my private pilot license, and I hope to keep you guys up to date. If you have any other specific questions, again, everything is linked in the description. You can send me a direct message via Discord, or you can send me a direct message via Instagram. I am verified. It's my only verified account. All the other accounts are fake. I can promise you that. I'm verified on YouTube, and I'm verified on Instagram. I'm verified on Twitter. I'm verified on, what's the new one? Threads. So if you get any account pretending to be me that's not verified, I promise you it's not me. I really do appreciate you guys' time. Hope that earned a thumbs up. I'll see you guys for our next live trading session. And if you want to watch me trade live the next time the market opens, that's the second link in the description down below. Take care, team.